Hey guys, it's Rush. Hope we're doing well. Welcome back to the channel. This video today, it is a channel update. There's quite a lot that I want to talk about, but I'm trying to be careful because number one, I have a habit of like rambling on about certain topics. And number two, there's quite a few things that I want to touch on in this video. So some things related to content, related to Street Fighter 6 and related to like my personal grind that I'm on. Yeah, where to even begin? So the content on my channel has definitely slowed down. So I think it's at the moment it's at a pace of like one video a week. And I'm aware of it. I'm conscious of it, but not too worried. But I'm aware that the content I'm putting out is not really hitting my target audience, or the audience itself isn't really interested in what I'm putting out. This could be a consistency issue because of the weekly uploads. Or it could be just, and I think this is the issue, times are changing. I think content is changing and evolving. And I think the way I've done my content has done well enough. I wouldn't say well, but well enough up until now. But we're at a point where content has shifted. You know, you've got short form content. You've got content where it's very, I've always gone for a very like basic but direct approach, but also detailed. I feel like the moment now, you've got to like spoon feed your audience stuff, but it has to be entertaining every step of the way. If any moment where it becomes not entertaining or interesting, like it wasn't good before, but it's picked up on more now, if that makes sense. So the content game's changed, but my content hasn't really changed with it. My consistency's gone down. Street Fighter 6 is for the most part the same. It hasn't really changed that much. And it's not difficult to make content for 6, but for what I have made my content on, which is Ken specific content and my gameplay and stuff like that. That's been the focal point of this channel, my journey on within Street Fighter. Because I don't play it as much now, you can imagine that's had a detrimental impact on my progress as a content creator. And the reason for this, I'll just be honest, is because I've spoke about balance before between work life, family life, content, playing the game, streaming the game, all these things, my other hobbies, of course, as well. And having a life, like having an actual life and social life. Trying to balance all this as a full-time worker and with 3 kids, I've always wanted to find the balance, but the truth is the only way to build the balance that I'm looking for is to do less of this stuff. And it's the first time I've ever decided, you know what, I'm not going to do as much content. I'm not going to be stressing and worried about getting online, getting on my PC and making content. And the reason I come to that conclusion, and I feel this is like the core part of this video, is because it's the impact it has on quality of life. So yeah, I don't even know how much to go into detail with this, but I was in a really bad place a long time ago, and I made a video about this. I forget when it was, like early, maybe 2021, 2020. I don't know when it was. And it was at a point where I was going through some stuff in real life, and it made me look inwards. And I looked at who I was as a person. I asked important questions like, what path are you on? Are you happy with what you have achieved and are achieving? Are you happy with the person that looks back at you in the mirror? These are all questions I asked, and I was not happy. I was not happy with the trajectory that I was on. In that, if I was to summarize where I was in that situation, I was kind of just like drifting through life. I was in a good career, but the job that I was in at the time was not a good job to be in because working nights, I didn't really have much work to do, and I was procrastinating. Like when on the nights where I had nothing to do, I was like procrastinating to like maximum levels, and you couldn't really sleep on your nights because if things went wrong, you had to be awake. So it was a tricky situation. I actually made some YouTube videos whilst I was on the nights. I tried to make constructive use of that time whilst I was working, and my boss at the time, fully aware of that. They even said, like, bring stuff in to do if you've got nothing to do. As long as the work's done, that's totally fine. But I obviously took it one step further and started making YouTube videos at work. This was a long time ago. It's not my current employer, by the way. But where I work now, just to give more context, I work from home. Like back then, that was pre-COVID. That was before working from home. I work from home now. And the job that I'm in now, same industry, but this job is very demanding, but it's very rewarding. I actually can't sit and work and make videos. It's not possible. It's just too much of a busy day. Like now I'm doing this video. It is during work time. I'm on my lunch break. I'm doing this video whilst on lunch. And it's because again, I'm squeezing in time. I don't want to use too much of my free time afterwards to make videos. I've got other things that I want to achieve. But it's been a perspective thing. So like, yeah, so where things were, I was struggling, but I was on a good path in terms of like I was really invested in Street Fighter 5. I was really invested in my YouTube channel. I was in a good career, as I mentioned. So I was earning decent money, but I was just drifting. The only thing I was passionate about was Street Fighter 5 and the channel. I even think like my family life and my home life, I was kind of drifting through that as well. I was like not fully present, if that makes sense. And I know I'll hold my hand up. I'm guilty of all this stuff. I mentioned this in that video and I said things have to change. Fast forward now to 2026, things have drastically changed. So I mentioned my job. I'm single now. I live by myself, but my kids spend half the week with me, mostly the weekends. It's a very different setup. I feel like I've changed as a person for your core personality does not change. I stand by that point, but things have changed about me. I'm more happy with who I am. I accept who I am. I understand who I am. Things are better in that perspective. And I've grafted and grinded in many other aspects, I'm seeing the fruit of that labor now is what I'm trying to say. So like financially, I'm in a much better place. Like having to start over by myself was really hard. I'm in a really stable and good place financially. Again, my job is in a good situation right now. I'm happy with my career. It's demanding, it's draining, but it gives me purpose. And I'm not someone who can do content full time to get by. I have to work. I've got 3 kids that depend on me and bills to pay. I don't really have anyone else helping me out from that perspective. So I've got to provide for myself and my family. So that's the 9 to 5 grind is what I'm on. What else? Yeah, just everything. Like my content has evolved. Like the streams have evolved, but this has come at a cost. So because I've continued with the content grind and the stream grind and the Street Fighter grind, that was something that was always draining me. It drained me from the perspective of I'm sat in front of a screen more. Like I mentioned this before, where I don't want to be sat in front of a screen more than I already need to be. Because I work in IT, so I'm sat behind screens. We do watch TV and we're on our phones. That's just the way the world is. I do try not to be watching too much TV. Try not to be on my phone too long. I'll just throw my phone to the side and I'm like, yep, come on, Rush, you got things to do. So I do try to limit that sort of stuff. But having to be in front of the screen again to then make videos, to play a game that you make content on, then to edit the video, then to stream, it's a lot. It's very demanding. And for me, it drains me mentally and physically. It drains me. I can tell when I've been doing too much content. I look in the mirror and I'm like, wow, Rush, you look like trash. Whereas when I'm not doing that, I look and feel a lot better, in my opinion. You may disagree, but the moment I'm not doing much content, I feel like I am in a good place mentally, physically. But yeah, all that stuff. So trying to make content, to play Street Fighter, to stream, to edit. Editing, if you're a content creator, editing is so draining. It's very rewarding when you get to the end of the process, but the actual process of editing videos, it's so tedious. Like for example, I made a controller video this weekend just gone and I spent a large portion of my Saturday and my Sunday. So I had no kids, which is very rare for me on this weekend. I went out, I went for like long walks. I think yesterday I did like 13K steps. I did 2 strength training workouts, one Saturday, one Sunday. So I did it a lot. And I spent the rest of my free time making this one video, which again, it's interesting. This video is a new controller, but not many people are watching it. I just feel, again, going back to my original point, people aren't really interested in my channel anymore, which is fine. That's just the way it is. But I know what I'm investing in the channel. So that video, I put a lot of time and effort into it. And for it to not do too well is a little disheartening. But again, that's just the way the landscape is right now. So it is what it is. I'm not stressing, but it's just a reality. So during this time that I was grinding and grafting and still making videos and streaming and playing the game, I was not paying attention to a couple of things. I was conscious of these things, but I hadn't paid attention to them. And this is sort of like the next stage of this video. And it gives context with what's coming in the future. Sorry, I had to get a drink because I've just had lunch as well. I'm surprised that food hasn't been flying at the screen whilst I've been talking. I've just eaten during my lunch break. Yeah, so what has this stuff, how has this impacted me and what am I doing right now to rectify that? So when you're streaming, when you're making content, when you're editing, when you're playing, if it's a video game that you're playing, when you're playing a video game to make content on, very draining. I had to sacrifice areas of my life to make that time. So I had to sacrifice sleep. I had to sacrifice like time in the gym. Maybe I skipped meals or I had like crappy meals to make time again. Time with the kids. I mean, I'd be lying if I said that time with the kids wasn't impacted because of me on this grind. And that's not good because they are the priority. The priority as well as myself being the priority. And I've mentioned this before. I suffer with irritable bowel syndrome, so IBS. And to explain it, what happened, it's got a lot worse as well. Hence why I've took a step back from content and stuff. It's so bad now that when I eat, whatever goes in gets stuck, and it's always stuck in like my lower intestine, like my just below my stomach is where it gets stuck, and it's very painful. But what's evolved now is I get acid reflux a lot more, and the acid reflux is occurring because I'm so bloated and so congested that like the gas is like it's coming up and it's forcing like the stomach acid up into my throat, and it's really, really, really painful. Well, not I say, oh no, I shouldn't say painful. It is painful. I'd say it's more uncomfortable though, and yeah, I've had it so bad before bed sometimes where the acid reflux is in my throat. It's burning my throat. It's like coming into my mouth a little bit. I can feel it in my ears as well. It's that bad. I've seen specialists. I've taken some meds. I'm not a medication like surgery type person, but if need be, I'll try it or I'll give it a go. Surgery is always a last resort type scenario for me. I've not had any surgery or anything for this, but the doctors haven't found any reason behind it. The meds haven't helped. The home remedies I've tried, some of them help, but they don't. The root cause does not go away. It just helps with the symptoms. And recently, I've had to drastically change my diet. So before, my diet was like it was. I don't want to put the label of carnivore on what I was doing, but it was a steak a day. It was lots of meat, vegetables, fruit, but then some carbs. So that was where it's different from carnivore. It's not strict carnivore, but kind of around that style of eating. And the way I was eating, I know it wasn't really helping my symptoms, but I eat this way because I feel that's a very nutritious way to eat, and it supports my working out, which I'll admit I haven't been working out for about a year because of an injury. So I've still been eating that way, even though I haven't been working out. So I'm back in the gym now, working out again. The injury's better, but it was causing me grief. It's caused me a lot of grief, and it's got so bad now that before I didn't have this sensation constantly. It wasn't chronic, whereas now it's almost chronic. I have this feeling every day. I feel bloated. My belly feels like I'm 3 months pregnant. I'm just holding my stomach when I'm walking around. It's really draining on me, and I said to myself, "Rush, you've got to do something. You've got to seek help again, but you've got to change your diet." And changing my diet is what I've done. And I don't, this is like day 3 or day 4, and I feel marginally better. The symptoms are still very similar. So I've just got to stick it out and see how it goes, I guess. But I really need to focus on this. And this isn't just eating better and having better habits. Like my 10K steps I've been doing for a good while now. So that's nothing new. But time in front of the screen and getting stressed at Street Fighter 6 and punishing myself by seeing through hours of editing, it has a negative impact on me. And stress does aggravate the symptoms. It does. Like if you know about IBS and GERDs, GRED, those types of issues, stress makes it 10 times worse. So I'm trying to reduce my level of stress, and that means like doing less of this stuff. The other thing, and this is, I think it's an important topic to bring up. It's health related to a certain degree, or it's not. It's aesthetics and looks, and it's something that bothers me about myself. I've mentioned this on stream quite a few times, but my hairline is receding. It's going. I used to think I'll show you me. Make the screen bigger so I can see myself. So my hair doesn't look too bad at the moment, but if anyone that knows what receding hairlines are like and understands hair loss, sorry, it's mirrored, will know like some of the science. If I do this now, you can see how, oh my gosh. I think I did a thumbnail where I showed this, how far it goes back. You can see it's significantly gone back. And you know, some people might find this hilarious and funny, but this is going to hit most men as you go through life. All that back there. You can see my temples are really far back. If I lift this bit up, my island, that's not as far back. But you can see my hair has gone back. Now, I used to think that was the issue, the front. This hairstyle kind of covers it, but if the wind blows, it came over. But I used to focus on the front. But a friend of mine at that same workplace that I mentioned where I was working nights, a friend of mine at that workplace, Jake, he said that it's not the front you got to worry about, Rush. It's the back of your hair. Now, the back is, yeah, it's mad thin around the crown. I'll try and show it. I obviously won't be able to see it, but you can see it. If I go back, I'm hoping you can see that. So it's thinned a lot more at the back, and it does bother me because I've only really embraced having longer hair at the last, I wouldn't say the last decade, but like within the last like 7 years. And I went years not really tapping into my hair. I know it sounds silly, but from an aesthetic point of view, I always had short hair, never bothered about having my hair long and having natural style. I never went to a barber. I used to cut my own hair back in the day, very short. When I embraced my hair in my early 30s, I was like, wow, like that really, just having certain hairstyles really transforms the way that I look. And I was like, man, I'm really enjoying, actually bothering with my hair. But even in my early 30s, it was the receding was there and I was aware of it. But the styles that I had back then like made it look a lot better. It's receded a lot more since then and thinned out a lot more. So you guys know what I'm getting at, right? It bothers me quite a lot. When I go out, the wind blows, it messes it up. I'm very conscious of the back at the moment. I have finally decided on what I'm going to do. I've contemplated getting my hair shaved off or getting a hair transplant. A hair transplant, scary, very, very scary. But I did research a while ago and I understood the risks involved, the costs and things. Then a long period of time went where I decided to do, I didn't decide, I did nothing because I was grinding, I was doing YouTube stuff, I was playing Street Fighter 6, because I was in the IRL grind. I just kind of didn't think about it. But then as it's got worse recently, and as I've looked again at myself and my quality of life, I'd say I've lost my quality of life with my stomach and being a 41-year-old, looking at my priorities, deprioritizing YouTube and Street Fighter, really thinking about where I want to be in the next few years, I thought, you know what, I need to do something. So I actually researched again about where I want to go. And I've now booked not only the surgery, but the flights and things for the hair transplant. That's going to happen in the end of July. And I am worried. When I say I'm worried, I know the procedure is very painful. I know that. So I'm obviously worried about that, but that's not the main concern. More the recovery period. The recovery period, I think it's about a month where it's like uncomfortable and annoying. And then after that, it just, the transplant itself, they'll start falling out and then you just got to manage it and it'll start growing back over the next year to 18 months. I know what's to come. But again, you can imagine that's going to have an impact on the channel, what I'm doing. I'm already not doing as much. That's going to have an even bigger impact on the channel and what happens moving forwards. So I'm just sharing this with you. For two reasons, really. It's communication in regards to like what's going on with the channel, what's to come, what's going on with me. But it's also talk about these topics and these things maybe we neglect or don't give enough attention when you hit like midlife. Like I'm 41, I'm 42 in September. And I'm going grey as well. Like you can't see very well, but like it was just in my beard. It was here first, then I got a little bit there. It's going grey all here. And now the greys all started there. And I've got a few popping up at the top. I've got a few in my chest as well that are grey. I'm getting older. And I think all of what's going on with me and me looking at myself and being like, you're kind of running yourself into the ground. Even though things are much better in life than where they were, you're still running yourself into the ground. I've asked a lot of like important questions about what's important to me in life. I'm not somebody that believes in like life after death or reincarnation or anything like that. Like for me, in my mind, I feel like when you're dead, you're dead. It's over. And I know this sounds quite grim, but it's the reality. It's the reality that no matter however way you look at it in terms of your faith and your belief, this life that we have will come to an end. And 41 is still like, I'm not old, but I'm on the other side of the equation now. And I'm very conscious about what I invest my time into. I'm very conscious about the decisions that I make and the repercussions I have. I'm very conscious about what I want in life and where I'm unhappy. And is there something that I can do to change that? And not doing content. I'm going to be honest. This is blunt and honest and just brutal truth. This YouTube grind and my YouTube channel it means a lot to me because it's a way of me expressing myself to an audience, showing people what I am capable of doing and sharing the learning. So when I've figured stuff out, I love sharing the information. It gives me gratification. It strokes my ego. It does, and maybe people will say that's bad that if you do this for an ego thing. I'm not doing it for my ego, but I enjoy doing this. I really enjoy doing it, and it means a lot to me. But the thing is, how high on the priority list this has been for me because of what it gives me. It's like a drug almost in some regards. And I hate that I'm not making videos. I hate that I'm not able to stream as often. I hate that I don't like Street Fighter 6 as much as I like Street Fighter 5. I hate these things because it does affect the grind, but it's important that I do what's important for me first. Doesn't mean that I'm going to stop making videos. Doesn't mean the channel's dead. It means that things will come at my pace when I feel I'm ready to do things. But of course, as I mentioned now, there's some significant things that I'm working on and doing, which will take priority over even this slow pace of YouTube. But yeah, I've had to again. I haven't had to look inwards this time. I've had to just really think about what's important, and I don't want to look back when I'm 50 and think, okay, you set yourself up better in your 40s, but you still didn't really. I don't want to say optimize because then I sound like a robot, but you didn't really make the most of your 40s. Whereas my 30s went well, could have been a lot better. I don't want to make that mistake for this decade. I want my 40s to be, I want to make sure that I'm making good choices. You know, you make good choices, it could still go wrong. That's totally fine. But I don't want to sit there and not take action. I don't want to sit there and just repeat the same cycle that I'm in now and then not be exactly where I want to be in my 50s. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm doing these things. That's why things are starting to change. That's why you're seeing a change in the channel. I do want to tap into better content. That's something that I want to do. So maybe when I make videos, if they come less frequently, I can make better videos. But I need to look into how I do that. So that's a research project for me. But what I will do is with the hair transplant specifically, if it's of interest to you, I will share my journey with you in terms of like the steps. So I'm not going to vlog it. I'm not a vlogger. I don't think I'll ever be a vlogger, but I'll, do videos and I'll share information about the process, like the pros, cons, what I've done myself and, like the discussions I've had with the surgeon, the results and type things, and keep you updated on progress of the surgery. So if that's one of interest to you, I'll definitely do it on the channel. And I know this is a fighting game channel. I think predominantly my viewers are like, I think their age range is stretched now. Predominantly people my age that watch the channel, but there's a few youngsters now that watch the channel. If you're a youngster and you're hearing this, I promise you, you'll be in the same situation that I'm in a few decades from now. You think it's not going to happen to you. I look around at like young folks, my eldest son, Avon, and I look at them with like chiseled jawlines and amazing hairlines and just like carefree. I'm thinking, you don't know what's coming. You don't know what's coming. And it's brutal. It's brutal. But watching these videos may give you some insight. I mean, I'm sure you probably know about this stuff already because there's a lot of influencers that talk about, maintaining what you have and maximizing your looks and things. I'm very about maximizing what I've got, the best of my ability, at least anyway, my knowledge. But I think it's a very important topic. I think it is. And, for some people, they don't care. They don't care about going bald. Like, if I could shave my hair, I would. But trust me, I ain't got the face to go bald. I've done like the AI apps that make you look bald and it just looks terrible. I'm not a fan. So, yeah. Hope that's of some value to you. I hope it helps portray what's going on the channel. I've done this video about 6 times and I think this is the best take. So this is the one that's going to be out there. But any questions, any queries about this video or any of the topics I've spoken about, even if it's to do with content, if you're a content creator struggling and need help, like those topics interest me. So I'm happy to help, not just Street Fighter, but yeah, life stuff as well. Just reach out. Hope that helps, guys. Thanks for letting me vent and sort of share with you on the channel. I always appreciate it. Yeah, that is the video. Catch you in the next one.